Okay, so let's watch this video Tectone came out with today. Let's see.
It's surprising because we usually have two people who I actually like quite a bit.
So first, let's start off. So Asmongold pushes back on Xqc, calling out Pokemon referencing victims. Says there are victims in this sykkunos situation, but they are not victims of a crime. I disagree. I think that someone is a victim of a manipulator, a person who leads them on, who gives them the false impression and intentionally tries to take advantage of that impression that they don't have. I wouldn't really call a fuckboy like making somebody a victim. Like if you want to argue about the vocabulary, categorically, victim is the right word to use. But they are not victims of a crime. Also, the biggest victim in all this is his girlfriend. That's obviously he understands that. This guy was playing around, disrespecting her the entire time. If she sees victim that way as predator, that's fine. I have more broad definition of the term, so I couldn't take advantage of people. Do things that were in bad faith, told things that were knowing lies, and did that in ways that were not becoming of a gentleman. Yeah, this is coming from the same chick that fucking did a stream at Nina Land who sexually assaulted a guy on stream. And she said nothing about it. That's okay.
Obviously, I prefer Asmongold to Xqc. Everybody knows that. You know, like stating my biases. But I want to go into this pretty fair. Asmongold pushes back on Xqc's take, and Xqc calls out Asmongold for that pushback. So I'm going to play this shit right down the middle. I have no prior knowledge of anything going on in this, but I know everything surrounding it. So let's hear what both parties have to say, and let's see what's going on, and let's see if this is eventually going to lead to a civil war. I don't want to see Asmongold and Xqc fight. They're on the same side. You know, I don't want to see infighting. I don't. But let's see. Asmongold's another guy where he will always put his ego to the side when it comes to situations like these. But Xqc called him out pretty hard, so let's see why.
Xqc already cooking? No, dude.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Who are the victims of this case? Please elaborate on victims what?
I would like to say I 100% side with Xqc on this tweet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not an issue on this. I just don't. They're not real. Like when you refer to somebody as a victim, you're obviously referring to some kind of like sexual assault or an assault of that nature. I wouldn't really call it. Oh, she got played. I wouldn't call like them victims in this regard.
Incredibly based, incredibly factual, incredibly true. Pokemon made the
like technically maybe they are, but no, you can't. You cannot argue that they're actual victims. Like this is just diminishes another one of these buzzwords. You're diminishing it.
Comment. I just hope all the victims can find their peace. Who are the victims, right? Because the only victims, in my opinion, would either one, just be Sykkuno's girlfriend in this case, but two, another scenario, Sykkuno. So are you saying you feel bad for Sykkuno, or who are the victims? Because as far as I'm concerned, you've condemned Sykkuno. So
absolutely, they condemned the hell out of this guy.
It sounds to me like you're just doing the old PR pokey and just saying what people want to hear. The only victim is his girlfriend. I have a hot take, and I'll stand by this. I think Sykkuno's a bigger victim than his girlfriend. Sykkuno's girlfriend.
That's kind of true because she's not in the public and nobody knows who this chick is. And they're calling Sykkuno a predator. As I think that's an incredibly base. I think
Girlfriend got cheated on. Okay, move on.
That's exactly what it is. It's not like this is his wife. It's just a girlfriend he had, and it's like I don't.
Sykkuno is going to be known as a rape predator pedophile for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
That's infinitely worse.
Exactly.
As a man who has been cheated on, and as a man who has been falsely accused of crimes,
right,
I would much rather get cheated on again than to ever be falsely accused ever again. And that's honestly the truth. And the difference is, I did nothing to deserve this, right? I did absolutely do nothing to deserve this besides being an amazing human being. Sykkuno fucked around and he found out. But I'll be real, he should be known as a cheater. He should not be known as a rape pedophile abuser.
Absolutely. Cheater 100%. This other shit, yeah, they have no reason to do this.
My opinion. Let's keep going here. Let's see what Asmon has to say.
I mean, I disagree with this.
Okay, let's hear why.
I
Yeah,
actually disagree
why?
with
Why do you
XQC on
disagree with
this.
this?
I think that somebody is a victim of a manipulator, a person who
Oh.
leads them on, who gives them the false impression, and who intentionally tries to take advantage of that impression that they don't have. Like, and I don't think that
Asmongold.
What?
They hit on Sykkuno first.
Exactly.
They wanted sex.
They hit on this guy. They wanted sex. They were trying to pursue this relationship.
They got sex. I'm sorry. That's
And not only that, some of these women got actual loads of money from this guy.
not a victim. It's not. You can't.
You want to say, oh, she got... And he didn't even cheat on with these girls. He just... Maybe he kind of applied, hey, maybe I might date you. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to do this little sucky suck. But it's not...
Tell me that Mal is a victim of wanting to have sex with Sykkuno because she reached out to Sykkuno first. They engaged it.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, they're not.
like
we want... Let's redo the Valentine's Day.
if you want to argue about the vocabulary, I mean, again, I think that categorically victim is the right word to use, but they're not victims of a crime.
Technically, yes, they're not victims of a crime. But however, you should not use the word victim, because in this instance, when you're online, when you say somebody's a victim, you 100% always mean they're a victim of a crime. Nobody generally ever refers to somebody as a victim who has not been a victim of a crime.
And also, somebody says in chat, the biggest victim of all of this is his girlfriend.
No, I disagree heavily. These other girls aren't victims. They're not. As well as the biggest victim in all of this is actually Sykkuno. Yeah, the chick got cheated on, but Sykkuno is going to be labeled a predator, rapist, pedophile for the rest of his life. I disagree with Asmon here.
She is the biggest victim of all of it, is that this guy was playing around, doing this, disrespecting her.
So, here's one thing. We're all smart. He's going around behind his girlfriend's back. We don't even know the full story of if it was even that good of a relationship. Maybe the girlfriend wasn't that involved with Sykkuno. Maybe there was things she didn't do. Maybe there was reasons why Sykkuno did all this right here. I just saying, we generally don't know. I can't. You can't realistically even call her a true victim in this situation. She got cheated on. That fucking sucks. Absolutely.
For the entire time.
And I'm also just going to say this too. The girlfriend's kind of an idiot. How in the are you so lackadaisical in a relationship for 6 years? Like, once again, I got cheated on. I'm retarded for getting cheated on too. I should have seen it coming a mile away.
Right.
I was warned by all of my chat that it was happening too, and I didn't listen. But like, aren't you going to like, why are you staying with a guy? You know, no hate. But like, why are you staying with a guy for 6 years and none of his friends even know that you exist?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody knew this girl existed. And it's like, at some point, I feel like there was threads on Twitter about supposedly Bao knew about the cheating the entire time, but did not even inform the girlfriend? Or the girlfriend messaged... Well, I don't know. She has to suspect something somewhere along the line.
Shouldn't we kind of think that's like a red flag? I don't want to blame her for this because some women are stupid. But like, if you're with somebody and they're apparently, allegedly, no one even knows that you exist for 6 years.
Yeah. How did that happen? I don't know. What is it? Scar didn't know he had a girlfriend. Disguised Toast didn't know he had a girlfriend. Valkyrie didn't know he had a girlfriend. Pokemon didn't know he had a girlfriend. I don't think...
Shouldn't we like kind of think, that's a little weird. Like, don't you think? Like, you kind of think, I've been dating this man for 6 years, and every time he goes out, I can't come.
Yes.
Whenever he goes to his friends, I can't go. Whenever he goes to cons, I can't go.
Yes.
Like, you know, bless her heart for being so willfully ignorant, but like, how the fuck nobody know who you are for 6 years to his best friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Once again, I'm not blaming her, but like,
I can't believe this shit with him didn't come out sooner. I don't know how he went this long, and all the people didn't say, "Oh, Sykkunos walking around with another girl again." I generally don't understand that.
I wish somebody would have called me retarded, because if my entire chat knew that I was getting
Like, he went out on movie theater dates with girls. You would think at a convention somebody would be like, "Oh wait, that's Sykkuno." Maybe, just maybe, everybody knew Sykkuno was cheating on this girl, and this is what typically always happens. Everybody knows that somebody's being cheated on, but nobody ever tells the person until after they find out, when they catch the person actually cheating.
cheated on before I did, I must have been retarded too. And I think both of us should have just wisened the fuck up, to be honest.
So that's my opinion. Like, I don't think there's anything.
Or all of these people are lying. They knew who she was, and in which case, I feel awful for her.
Wrong.
I think that's okay. I think that's what it is. Like what he just said.
All of these people are lying. They knew who she was, and in which case, I feel awful for her.
I think that's happened. I do not believe they did not know who she was. I don't believe they didn't know that he wasn't fucking cheating on her.
Wrong with him having this perspective, because victim can imply a crime. It's the same perspective that I had. Like, he thinks the same way about it as I see predator. So if he sees victim that way, that's fine. I don't see. I have a more broad definition of the term.
Sure. I can understand if you want to argue semantics. I can understand if you want to argue definitionally. But Asmongold, I think you know that if someone is called a predator, if someone is called a victim, entirely what that means on the internet.
Yes.
And that's why you need to be careful when using these terms on the internet, because everybody knows what they think it means. And people think that if someone's called a victim, they immediately think victim of a crime. When somebody says predator, they either think rape or pedophile. Everybody knows this.
You can't literally what he just said. You can't say, "Oh, well, technically she's a victim." No, dude, I bet you when sponsors see this shit, say, "Oh, you see all the Sykkuno victims?" I'm like, wait, what do you mean Sykkuno victims? What did he fucking do to these women? That's essential what people are going to hear. They're like, oh, he cheated on his girlfriend. But okay, so what makes him a victim? Okay, no, it's
everybody knows. I think Asmongold's being far too charitable once again, and I don't know why.
And I think that, like,
I'm gonna say this: I like Asmongold, but he has shit. He does occasionally, from time to time, have shit fucking takes. It's true. He absolutely does.
Sykkuno did take advantage of people. He did do things that were in bad faith. He told things that were knowingly lies.
I would also be very careful with saying the word taking advantage of, because a lot of people confuse that with the word date rape. Like, roofling in people's drinks and then f***ing them while they're unconscious, right? Like, the thing with Sykkuno is these women reached out to him first, immediately stating their sexual desire. Yeah. Right? That's the big difference. That's the huge difference. And I really feel like we need to hone in on that.
And he did that in a way that was not becoming of a gentleman. And if you want to say that people are victims of that, then I think that's valid. If people want to use a different term, that's fine. But I don't think that it was a good thing to do. So that's really the way I see it.
Yeah, it wasn't good for him to cheat on his girlfriend. That's fucking obvious. I don't understand this take from him. I genuinely don't. Like, obviously, it sucks that he cheated on his girlfriend, but like, these women are not actual victims.
She was only upset that she's not the only one. She wanted it. He gave it.
Absolutely. That girl only made his hit piece because he is still, for some reason, trying to salvage the relationship with a girl that nobody knows who the fuck is, because he did not break up with his current girlfriend and date her, because she was willing to give him a second chance. She created this hit piece on him.
I'm not talking about the girls that he hooked up with. I'm talking about the girl that he was actually dating. It's like you can be a victim of racism, but it's not technically illegal. Well, sometimes, right? But
I'll be real, man. I feel like Asmon's off on this one. That's okay, though. That's okay. All right. What did Xqc respond? Let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Then who are the victims then of what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't answer. But he didn't
really answer this.
I'm not doing a statement. I'm doing a question.
I mean, again, I think that categorically victim is the right word to use, but they're not victims of a crime. And also, somebody says in chat, the biggest victim of all of this is his girlfriend. She is the biggest victim of all of it.
Incorrect. Again, then I absolutely disagree. Because we absolutely do not know. Okay, no.
Okay.
I agree that
I'm going to let Xqc cook. Usually I'm able to interject, but Xqc is a different breed where what he's saying makes no sense. Like, bit by bit, you have to hear the whole piece because Xqc is a French Canadian and he's also a little bit retarded. So I'm not going to interrupt as much, but I will weigh in when he's done.
the posts made may make her a victim, but I'm not going to assume in the blind that she is a victim because we don't know what the nature of the relationship is.
Exactly. We don't know everything that happened behind the scenes. We're only seeing the smallest little bit of snippets of these text messages, and we're hearing their side. Sykkuno to this date has not responded to any of this. Honestly, I highly doubt he ever will, but if he does, then we'll have to go from there.
That's very fair. We don't know if they were in an open relationship. We don't even...
That's true. That's true. If his current girlfriend is in an open relationship,
know if this woman exists. We have no idea how this woman even feels. That's very fair. That's honestly a great perspective that people are assuming a lot.
Exactly.
People are assuming a lot before we know the whole story. We still haven't heard Sykkuno. We still haven't heard the girlfriend's take. This is very fair.
You don't know. And anybody who claims that they know are absolutely lying.
True.
Let me tell you how this works. Let's say in this instance that both these partners both cheat on each other every day.
yeah, and we didn't know. What if she's cheating on Sykkuno the entire time? Because maybe she suspected Sykkuno doing it the entire time. Maybe she's not giving Sykkuno anything that he actually wants, so he's getting it elsewhere.
Sure.
They both do it. And let's say that in a scenario, she did it 10 times.
Sure.
And he did it twice.
Sure.
But it's what they do though, right? It's the nature of their relation, right? In this context, right? Nobody really is the victim. And if there is a victim, it would be more him. True or false? But
Hey, I said the same shit, to be honest.
I said the exact same thing. Same thing.
I do agree that Sykkuno's more the victim in this scenario.
even though we don't know.
I don't think people understand how hard it is to live life being labeled a rapist predator. I don't think they understand that. You can't feel safe ever again for the rest of your life because people justify murder on people who are labeled as such. And so you can't ever drop your guard. You can't ever relax because a group of women or a woman decides to lie on your name. And the worst thing is, Mugen is so far up his own ass, he won't clarify that.
Because we have no information.
Yep.
All of this is over VTuber pussy, by the way.
That's what fucking gets me. I never would have expected the amount of VTubers fucking throwing ass behind the scenes. It blew my mind, actually. All the shit I've heard.
Not the case. We have no information about the relationship. Found to them that they
Defend it, more bike rider.
Of course, I'm gonna defend it because I don't know. Why would I assume? Yeah, but where, guys? I watched the whole video and I saw all the evidence. Okay. When did this happen? Show me where this happened. Show me where the big manipulating scheme has happened.
Like, if you want to argue about the vocabulary, I mean, again, I think that categorically victim is the right word to use, but they're not victims of a crime. And also, somebody says in chat, the big
chat, I think he would. It's my understanding that he would feel like if people acted the way that we were acting towards him, and use those justifications to use wording and verbiage against him, he would 100%. He would flip on this 100%. He would flip on and be like, whoa, this wording is way too strong. That's not what it actually is. And wait, I didn't say the truth entirely about this, but that doesn't mean that I was trying to do a ruse or whatever. That's outrageous.
Yeah, you know, like I believe that if this is so important, I do believe that if Asmongold were to become underneath scrutiny of such strong wording like has been presented right now, he would also understand how awful this is.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where
I remember the time when the shit happened with Rich, and everybody kept referring to it as drama. It's drama and drama and drama. Asmongold got real upset and said, "This is not fucking drama. It is a crime. It still is drama. This right here, this is 100% drama."
Gold is lacking insight is because he's never seriously been called something like this before.
No,
the closest thing that there was Hassan calling Asmongold a lolicon, right? Because he was implying that Asmongold had animated sexual porn of children on his PC because Hassan's a psychopath, right? But like, if he were to ever come underneath huge scrutiny by an ex-girlfriend or a bitter lover, he would understand how awful and how terrifying it feels to come underneath these false labels that are put onto you due to someone else just being bitter. You see what I'm saying? Right? Like, and Asmongold is right 99 times out of 100. But I think he's lacking some insight here because he hasn't experienced something like this. Bang.
And then he would flip on this. It's important to be in the middle here and just call it out for what it is. If you're buzzwording, you're buzzwording. So he would not like this happened to him. So don't greenlight it when it happens to other people. Guys, what if I said that all his OTK mates are all victims of this person who's evil because he's doing some financial sabotage by being part of OTK and trolling the game by having these wild takes and pretty much damaging the whole org down by tarnishing their name and making sure that their income is scuffed over, and all the people that work there are victims of him.
Yeah. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, that would be, like, obviously, like, Asmongold, just by being Asmongold.
And it's true, regardless if he wants to admit it or not. You could 100% say the actions of Asmongold, he created victims of the people that used to work as an organization. People that worked under OTK, they lost their jobs because of the comments and things that Asmongold said and made. Like, I don't think it was like that bad, but obviously you have to be careful what you're doing. He had an organization. He created himself. I don't think he would appreciate them being called victims of what he did. I don't think he would appreciate that.
Obviously, this is public knowledge. Like, OTK and Starforge lost a lot of money by just Asmongold, saying things how it is.
Yep.
And I respect him for that.
Yep.
Like, obviously, there's a reason why Asmongold had to step down because...
That's what I'm saying. That's the issue. Is like, that's fine. If you want to have those takes, man, that's fine to have those takes. But when you're a part of this public image and you have a business, you have people that work under you, you gotta learn the whole shit back. Now, what he should have done before he made this type of comments is that at a certain point, obviously he was being very stressed out. He should have stepped down or from a leadership role of OTK a long time ago. He should have stepped down a long time ago. If he was getting stressed out, he should have done this a long time ago. If he did right here, things would probably be a lot different for OTK had he done that.
Because advertisers don't like that. I'm not going to call people in OTK victims because of Asmongold. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, that sucks, and a bad thing happened to all of them because of Asmongold. But like, I'm not going to call them victims either. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, a bad thing happened.
But you could technically call them victims.
But I'm not going to call them victims.
Whoa, guys! Whoa! You can't say that. Whoa! You can't do this. This is insane. Well,
nothing will red pill you faster than a false allegation. I absolutely know. No, what really truly red pills you is hardship. Those who haven't experienced hardship will all be Democrats, will all be liberals. And then once you realize how bitter this world is because you've experienced it, that will red pill you so fast.
Then I would be even more correct in what I'm saying than what they're saying. But now it's not okay to say that? No, I disagree. I disagree with the whole thing. Use the correct words when it applies, and don't use words that you know for a fact will be seen as one thing when presenting another situation. Because that makes... People will see victims, they'll say, that's whatever.
Like, I'm sure Asmongold will understand the situation more, because, like, Asmongold has, like, talked to a lot of VTubers. Like, what's Cassie, right? If someone were to accuse Asmongold of taking advantage of a power dynamic between him and Cassie, Right? Like, what is that? The small little VTuber that can barely speak English?
Yeah.
What's her name again? Is it Cassie?
I don't know her
Yes,
name.
Cassie.
It's
I don't
Cassie.
think Asmongold would really like someone calling him, taking advantage of a power dynamic between him and Cassie, and calling him a predator because he's talking to a smaller content creator with a promise of a collab that never happened. Right? Like, you wouldn't call that a predator, right? So, like, you got to understand, like, these labels, you have to use them very specifically because they hold a lot of weight, and the internet is waiting for anything to be able to sink their teeth into.
It could be just one guy that's talking to some girls. Oh, it could be some victim. Could be just some guy that. Oh, it could be just a big creator talking. Now you're making the victim lose power. That power loses fuel, yo. That's
He's saying the term victim loses power. It's honestly very true.
stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, in my opinion, when you're doing coordinated hit pieces like that and these words are premeditated, you should be very careful with your word choice. As a guy who I've had a lot of hardship getting fucked over for things that I've never done, I wish people were a lot more careful with their words. And I really wish women were a lot more careful with who they trust because, well, unfortunately, a lot of bad women get away with a lot of bad things because they cry and they use these terms like victim and predator. And
Yep. Just like Tectone. Tectone got fucked over so badly in that. And it's so stupid.
abuser, and everybody believes him. And then once they get found out to be lying, later date, whether that's weeks, months, years, hours, decades later, it makes everyone else coming forward have a lot harder of a time. And that's why specificity is very important. It's surprising me.
All right, guys. That was a pretty good video. Yeah, you can't. I agree with Xqc and Tectone both in this right here. You cannot call these women victims. You just cannot.